My name is Jason Hammer, and unlike our friends in Washington, it won't take 15 different votes for us to tell you who we think is going to win the College Football National Championship. We're talking Georgia, TCU, today on All Indiana Bets.
Hey, I'm Scott Long. What a big day. We're discussing National Championship, NFL. You never know what we're going to talk about in All Indiana Bets, but it's going to be fun. Let's go.
Let's go.
This is All Indiana Bets, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. We are all Caesars.
Now, I'm not one for hyperbole. You guys know this. But this could be the greatest day of our lives today.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the College Football National Championship. We've got meaningful NFL football games on the docket. There's a little college basketball thrown in the mix. Thank you for spending your Saturday with us here at All Indiana Bets. And Scott, let's give the people what they want. The national championship game. You've got Georgia, you've got TCU. Everybody loves a good Cinderella story. Do you?
I like to put these on. You know,
now we're getting down to business.
Kind of the way it has been.
The glasses are on.
I'm disappointed by this game, quite frankly. I know it's Cinderella and whatever, but it would have been nice to have one Big Ten team in there. They both were in it. Ohio State had that game won, and all of a sudden they don't. Okay, those games are in the rearview mirror. I get it. I would just state that my point of view, when you look at these ones right here, SEC has been very good. Okay?
It's rare of you to say something nice about the best conference in college football.
No,
You're normally an anti-SEC guy.
No, the top four teams are good. Okay, let's get right down to it. The SEC was trash the first part of the bowl season. But then, of course, LSU got a bye, Purdue.
Oh, come on now.
That was, oh my gosh.
Come on now.
And then, look, I was very impressed with Alabama. I didn't think, Alabama was a shocker, wasn't it?
Well, once I knew Bryce Young was going to play, it shouldn't have been a shocker. I think it was a shocker that he played.
Yeah, but then you watch Georgia, and you're like, what Georgia team is this? Look at all the points that were scored. It didn't look like them at all. This is not the same Georgia team as last year. That needs to be put out. Same quarterback, same tight end, same some of it, defense not the same. So that's why when I look at this, I kind of feel like, well, Hammer, toss to me, we'll figure out what my pick's going to be.
That's such a power move of you to throw it to me so I can throw it back to you just to highlight the fact that you're 31 and 16.
I was waiting for my burst.
Over the last 11 weeks, hat tip, if I had one on, I would tip it to you, my friend. That's an amazing run.
Look how far away we look. We're like so far away from oh, there it is right there. Look at that thing right
31
there. 31 and
16.
16.
Come get some. It's the way that we get down here on All Indiana Bets. And Scott, this is the most important pick. This is the big one here. The most important pick of the season of college football.
Right.
TCU, Georgia. Where do you lean?
I lean towards Georgia. I lean the point spread. But I couldn't really buy into that. But I can buy the over-under.
Okay.
Look at the points scored last week. Wow, Michigan, one of the best defenses in college football, gave up 51 points to TCU. Okay, this TCU team is built for turf, built for the stadium that they're playing, where the Rams and the Chargers play in. NFL speed. Georgia, not as good a defense as they've had in the past. I look at this as another track meet. TCU might be under in the first half, but that second half, TCU, I can't predict them for anything this year, so I'm just playing the over.
So this is kind of giving me some deja vu here, Scott, because it feels like last year around this time, where everybody was on board with Alabama. Alabama had already beaten Georgia in the SEC championship game, and people were picking and poking and finding a reason not to pick Georgia. Well, here we are again. Everybody is looking at Georgia as, what's wrong with the Dogs? What's wrong with Georgia? there's nothing wrong with Georgia. Georgia played a really good Ohio State team last week. I would make the argument that Ohio State was the second best team in this Final Four, and Georgia took their best punch. They went toe-to-toe with them, and they still found a way to win the ball game. And here's TCU. TCU, you mentioned their offense last week. Was it really TCU's offense, or was it Michigan putting them in position to have some easy points? 2 pick sixes, some bad decisions in the red zone by Harbaugh last weekend. You're not going to get that from Georgia. Stetson Bennett is not going to give up 2 pick sixes. Kirby Smart's team will not try to do the Philly special inside the red zone. They're going to line up. They're going to punch you in the mouth. Georgia has seen the best wide receivers in the country this season, Ohio State and Tennessee. There's nothing. As much as I love TCU's quarterback, Max, teach me how to Duggan. I love the kid, but there's nothing they can throw at Georgia that they haven't seen already. I love Georgia. I'm laying the points, and maybe I'm in the minority here. I don't think it's close. I think Georgia blows out TCU in this one, and not every movie has a happy ending. Every once in a while, Darth Vader cuts off the hand of Luke Skywalker. Give me the dogs and lay the points.
So violent. Cuts off.
It's a big one, man. You got to come strong on the biggest game of the year.
Okay, well, let me tell you, let's make a bet. We're not going to be back on Saturdays after this.
This is our final Saturday show.
This is our Saturday. We're just NFL from now on. We'll have your playoffs covered, everything you want. Of course, that won't include the Colts.
If you don't laugh, you'll cry.
There's tears running down. Shirtless Sunday next week. Whoever loses this game goes Blazer. No shirt. We've done this one other time. It's probably the most popular segment.
So are you taking TCU with the points then? Because your pick was an over-under, and mine was with the point spread.
You know what? I'll play the opposite of your pick, so yes.
All right. Shake on it. You've got TCU with the points. I've got the dogs laying the points.
Right.
Someone on this program next Sunday will do a break with the Blazer Sans shirt. Now, scan that QR code if you want to get a head start on all of our picks. But if you want to come on back and have some more fun, we got more to talk about. This is the big one here, the national championship. We've got more ways you can bet on this game, plus the AFC South on the line. Later on tonight, we'll talk about that and a lot more. We're just getting started. It's all Indiana Bets. Come on back.
All Indiana Bets is presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook, the only sports betting app you need.
All of these other programs that talk about sports betting, they make it look like the hosts like each other and everybody's laughing and everybody's having fun. We bet against each other. Like there are side bets within the bets on this program. That's how competitive Scott and I are. And now we're going to take that to the next level with a segment we call Feeling It or Fading It. So this is a special college football national championship edition, Scott. So first up, we've got the quarterback of the Georgia Bulldogs, Stetson Bennett. To throw an interception, just one pick, the odds are -108. Are you feeling that or are you fading it?
I think it's the -108 that makes me just want to fade it, but I'm feeding it, I'm failing it. I don't really care about it.
Be careful with all those F's.
Yes, you know what? I'm fading our producer for this lame one right here. I've been very nice to our producer lately. I feel like that's throwing my game off.
In what universe have you been nice to our producer? In what way have you been nice to anybody on this show?
Okay, well, not you, but comparatively, I've been nice. Maybe it's the holiday spirit. All the holidays are over. I love that you said there were no, you do no resolutions, right?
No, I'm going to be the same awesome person in 2023 that I was in 2022.
I am feeling that my resolution has come true. I said I would gain weight, and I have been gaining it. I bet I've gained 4 pounds. I am going to be blowing up. You know what? I'm going to be like Jeff Saturday used to look by the end.
What does this have to do with Stetson Bennett throwing a pick?
I'm fading it. Go ahead.
I'm going to fade it too. I don't know where to go from that. We went from the quarterback of the national championship team to Jeff Saturday to you being Fatty McButterpants.
Yes.
Somewhere we'll have to talk about gambling in between.
Much better already, that segment. Let's keep going to the next one.
All right, so let's go on the other side here. TCU's quarterback Max Duggan to run for over 28.5 yards. Feeling it or fading it?
See, now I love Caesar Sportsbook because Caesar Sportsbook's around 28. There are other, like, second-rate operations that have got it over 30. Take that 28 and feel it. That's what I say. He is going to be running for his life at times, and there is nobody that runs for his life better in college football than Max. So I say feel that one.
I love Georgia in this game, so I think you're going to see a lot of fourth downs possibly by TCU and anything to keep the play alive, including quarterback scrambles, quarterback runs. Yes, I think I'm going to feel that one as well. How about this one? TCU wide receiver Quentin Johnston to score a touchdown. Now, Scott, we got positive money here, plus 114 on the odds line. Where are we at with Johnston scoring a tutty?
I think there's going to be a lot of points. You heard, I'm on the over on this game. So, yeah, I'm feeling that as well. So 2 out of 3, Peter, producer. Those were 2 good ones and 1 lame-o. Please, Hammer, let's find out what you would say.
I'm going to fade this one because, again, I'm all over Georgia in this one. And if I'm Georgia, if I'm Kirby Smart, and I'm looking at my secondary that got roasted by Ohio State and some pretty good receivers, including the best receiver in the country in Marvin Harrison Jr., I make sure that we double team the one threat that can beat us. Because last week, Marvin Harrison Jr. almost beat Georgia single-handedly. That's not going to happen again, so I'm going to fade this one.
Now, I got to break into that. I love when you become, like, if I'm Kirby Smart.
Yes.
Like, I visualize.
I have a better haircut than Kirby Smart. I promise you that right now.
Better haircut. No one's ever would have thought your last name was Smart, though. So, Kirby Hammer, I see this right here. That is a Kirby Hammer. That could be your new name. Go ahead.
Remember 2 minutes ago when he was talking about how nice he was to everybody on the show?
Not you.
Oh, it's a whole new year. It's a nice Scott. It's a thin Scott. You're still the same mean, fat Scott you are this year that you were last year.
I'm going to be meaner and fatter. That is my solutions.
Last one here, Brock Bowers. Some would say he's the best tight end in the country.
Yeah.
Notre Dame fans might have a little something to say about that. Over or under 62.5 yards receiving for the Georgia Bulldogs, feeling it or fading it?
Here's how I would tell you why he is the best receiving tight end. There are no props for blocks, okay? So I love Bowers.
That needs to be on a T-shirt, by the way.
No props for blocks.
No prop for blocks.
Make it right now. I'll wear it next week. But what I would definitely share with you is that I am all over Bowers in this game. I think the TCU's biggest weakness is their linebackers. They have not covered teams that play tight ends. Love Bowers, take the yards, and who knows, maybe other ideas.
I'm with you. I'm going to feel it as well because Georgia doesn't want to do what Michigan did last week. They don't want Stetson Bennett airing it out down the field, running the risk of getting a pick and sending it back to the house. They're going to go to their safety blanket, and that's Brock Bowers. He's going to own the middle of the field. They're going to use him a lot of different ways, put him in different formations. He's going to touch the football. I'm feeling that over as well. Scott, give me your second official play.
Mr. Prop, it's usually Hammer. Kirby Hammer here. I will tell you, I love the props, and the prop that I'm going to lay in right now is Brock Bowers again. Okay. Brock Bowers is the man in this game, and if you don't know, TCU plays a lot of teams that play the air raid offense that don't have tight ends. So all of a sudden, they're facing a real tight end. All Bowers needs to do in this game is to have just one touchdown, and he will make you money. I love that. That's my favorite prop, probably my favorite bet for the game. Remember, you don't just have to bet games that just the game or the total or the over. Games like the big game in the NFL or this national championship, tons of props, lots of fun.
And I'm with you on that one because it feels like Bowers didn't get enough touches last week. And Georgia's offense struggled early on. When they started getting looks, they started putting points up. I'm with you on that one. My second official lock-it-in play of the day today is the under in TCU, Georgia. Again, it's just my philosophy on this game. I think you're going to get the heavy lifting by Georgia here. I think TCU is going to find themselves in a hole early on. They're going to have to throw, and there's no way, I don't think it's possible, Georgia's defense could be as bad this upcoming week as they were last week against Ohio State. Ohio State had a better quarterback, better receivers. I think that practice, if you want to call it that, is going to pay dividends on the under here. It's still a high total, 62.5. The trends all say go over, but I'm telling you, if you go with the public, you will often be sleeping under a bridge. There's a reason why all these casinos look big and beautiful and have fountains in Las Vegas. It's not because the public is always right. We're going to ride the under in this one, 62.5, Georgia TCU.
Hammer, did you see that beautiful graphic that your pick had? That will teach everybody right now. Don't make jokes about the producer early on. I'm like, where's my graphic? I look like a lunatic. I'm looking around. The camera people are like, look over here, look over here. I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm just turning around. You finish the rest of this segment.
Well, I'll tell you what, while Scott spins around and looks for things, let's get the professional in here.
Oh.
Let's bring the wise guy in here. Alan Cashman, the Cash Man. He is the professional. We're going to find out what he thinks about Georgia TCU next on All Indiana Bets.
So I am the wise guy, and that is the winner right there. There is the face of a champion. Ball State last night was your pick. You took it to the bank. Today, not a lot of prognosticators want to put them right out there on the chopping block, but the Cash Man says, I got a pick on the national championship. What do you got, Alan?
Thanks, Scott. It's a tough call for me because I agree with a lot of what Hammer said about Georgia. My gut says Georgia will eventually wear down TCU and cover this, but I've watched both teams this year. TCU overcome all year. Georgia, I've seen them struggle against the likes of Kent State, Missouri, and Kentucky. Georgia's +6 in turnovers the first 3 games of the year. Since then, they're -7 in turnover margin. TCU +9 in turnovers on the season. I'm going to go with what I've seen from these teams this season. I'm going to back TCU. They've been good to us, so I'm going to back them +12.5. I think also an opportunity to live bet this one. If TCU gets off to a good start, you might be able to get Georgia at less than a touchdown later in the game, and maybe a chance for a middle where you could win 2 bets here. So I think you got a chance there with a live opportunity. But I'm going to back TCU +12.5 for the game.
TCU has been great to the Cash Man this year. So I understand that. I love the live betting angle too. That is another element that makes it so magical when you're sitting in your living room or your wherever you're at, in a garage, you know, where your wife has kicked you out, whatever it is. Bet it that way. It's a lot of fun. How do people get a hold of you, Alan Cashman, for more picks, college basketball, NBA? What is happening?
Yep, we're heating up in college basketball. Go to thecashmanwins.com. You can get all sports through the end of March Madness for just $40. That's at my website, thecashmanwins.com.
I did a little live betting last night. Pacers were down 7-0. Checked my app. At that point, I got Pacers at home with positive money. Made that bet. Boom goes the dynamite. Daddy's a winner. I love to do some live betting. And we will do some more betting when we come back, because if you're tired of hearing about the national championship and you want to hear more about mid-level college basketball teams,
yes!
You have come to the right place, baby. The Degenerate Special, it is back, and it's next on All Indiana Bets.
The Long Shot, presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook.
Oh, So cheers to you all, and Happy New Year. We are in 2023, and how do you celebrate it? It's called the long shot. You put the glasses on, you look at a game that is totally meaningless in so many levels, and why would you ever play the Raiders? I'll tell you why. The Chiefs have been terrible this year as a big favorite. You look through it, Mahomes is horrendous. Is he a great player? Yes. Is he the best player? Well, there's a good chance he's going to win the MVP. But all of a sudden, there was a new life in the Raiders. Did you see last week? The Raiders really had a great chance to beat the 49ers. What's going on there? It was a guy named Jared Stidham who had been the backup in New England, worked with coach there, and now he's with the Raiders. And is this a fade on Derek Carr? A lot of Colts fans are very excited about Derek Carr. I'm not. I don't want $35 million of mediocrity. Let's pay 18 for mediocre like we usually do. Biggest point is that's too many points. Take the Raiders plus 9.5. They're actually playing to win, and for next year, I'm not sure the Chiefs are going to be that involved.
Now, I may or may not have a little same game parlay coming up for that game a little bit later on. But you're right. The Evan Williams is flowing. It's a brand new year.
Cheers.
Thanks to our sponsor, Evan Williams, by the way. People always ask us, do you guys really drink the booze on the air? The way that I see it, we're making our sponsors happy. So yes, of course we do. Cue up the band. Let's do the Degenerate Special. Why would anybody want to talk about the national championship game or meaningful NFL games when you can talk about IUPUI and Youngstown State? Let's look at this game rationally. The over-under is set at 138. That's pretty solid. That's a pretty low number considering nobody, and I mean nobody, wants to play any sort of defense in this game. IUPUI, defensively in America, they're in the 340s. Youngstown State, they're not as bad as IUPUI, but they're not stopping anybody anytime soon. Plus, Youngstown State, top 20 offense in Division I in America. So when I see two bad defenses, one offense that likes to get it rolling, and IUPUI, most of their games this year are around 140 points over under. You do all of this math, that tells you this is the recipe for an over. So yes, find time to stream this game today, because you know it ain't on TV. IUPUI, Youngstown State, over 138. We're going to ride the lightning, and that is your Degenerate Special.
Hammer, I got the recipe for watching an IUPUI game. This, Evan Williams, maybe even some Elijah Craig, whatever you need, it is delicious. And hey, make it a drinking game.
Right. Every time somebody has a bad play defensively, take a drink.
Don't do that. You'll pass out by the first half.
You won't make it to the first time out. We've got our best bets of the day coming up. These are the ones that we feel the best about. You don't want to miss it. It's next.
The Best Bet is brought to you by Evan Williams. Bourbon done right.
Every bet we make, we believe in. Every bet that we talk about, we put actual money on. But some bets are better than others. This brings us to the best bet, brought to you by our friends at Evan Williams Bourbon. Scott, let's get down to business.
I don't think there is a football game that is going to be more passionate, maybe all season, than this FCS
here we go.
championship. You know, yes, they do spreads. It's in the middle of the day during NFL. I don't know why they scheduled it then, but quite frankly, most of the NFL games, they aren't going to care tomorrow. They're just a bunch of guys that are like, let me just be safe. I don't want to get hurt. Next year. Not these two. This is a border rivalry. These are easily the two best teams in FCS. And you're like, what? North Dakota State, that's the place that brought us Carson Wentz and brought us a lot of really NFL talented players. So what I would try to explain to you is this. Wow. Jackrabbits minus 5.5.
That's a lot of points.
They are the best team in FCS. A little back, first game of the season, they played Iowa. It was 7-3. They gave up 3 points to Iowa. They also gave up 2 safeties. That's how Iowa won against them. This is a different South Dakota State team. It's in the land of Frisco. South Dakota State went into Fargo, the Fargo Dome, and beat the North Dakota State earlier this year. They're going to do it twice. First national championship for the Jackrabbits. Those students are going to do something like Jackrabbits the rest of the year. It'll be so exciting. Hammer, what is your best bet?
Oh, man, I'm looking at the NFL and Chiefs and Raiders. I got 2 words for you. Divisional unders. If you played nothing but unders in divisional matchups all season long, you wouldn't need to buy a Mega Millions ticket. You wouldn't need that $1 billion that's on the line. You'd be making money. And guess what this is? A late season divisional matchup, and it's a pretty high total. I get it. Patrick Mahomes is a bad man. But with this Raiders team, Scott, I think you're more in than I am. I'm getting some Colts Jeff Saturday vibes here. Week after they blow out the coach and they bring back Matt Ryan, the Colts looked really good against the Raiders. They won the game. What's happened since then? Before everybody jumps on the Jarrett Stidham train, let's pump the brakes here just a little bit. This is a meaningful game for the Kansas City Chiefs. But, as Scott alluded to, they don't cover an awful lot. This is a divisional game. So you add all of these factors together. You put it in a bowl, you mix it around. That's the recipe for an under 52.5. Now, if you're watching this game and you want a little extra juice, I got you. Your boy here has got you. We call this balling on a budget. Now, I'm not a big parlay guy. You guys know this. I think parlay bets are sucker bets. But if you got just $5 left, maybe you've spent all of your money on Evan Williams and items to make the new year festive. And
good choices.
Down to your last $5.
$5? Is this all it's going to cost, Hammer?
It's all it's going to cost. Same game parlay, Chiefs and Raiders. Okay? So we're going to lay the points with Kansas City. I like the Chiefs. Meaningful game at home, laying the 9. We're going under. Divisional unders. Say it with me. Travis Kelce, anytime touchdown. We're not talking about the first. We're not talking about the last. Anytime to get in the end zone. And Scott's favorite player, Jarrett Stidham, to throw a pick. One single pick. A batted down pass. A failed Hail Mary. A bad read. Anything at all. One interception. You parlay these together, you could turn $5 into over $40. And you can thank me in the morning with your winnings.
Hammer, look at this. I am going to fade every one of those and make my own balling on a budget.
Okay.
Other way around, it's going to be the balling on the budget winner of the year.
The alliteration doesn't sound the same here. We need to work on the title. You do that and come on back because we got even more picks. We got more drinks.
That's good.
And I'm starting to smell some food from our kitchen area. We've got some tailgate food on the way. We're having a good time. Hang out with your TV pals.
Here we are.
All Indiana Bets. Come on back.
Presented for the people by Caesars Sportsbook. Your first bet is on Caesars. Bet up to $1,250. And if you don't win, you'll get it back as a free bet. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and over.
I think it's going to be 9. 9 will win the AFC South.
What? 9?
I do. I think Tennessee's going to win 8. And if you want me to put money on any of those 4 teams, I would take Jacksonville at plus 650 to win the South.
I hate when Scott's right.
Oh my gosh! Where did you find that?
I hate when Scott's right.
Oh, so many people are like, this guy's not very good on TV. How is he on? That's how I'm on. What a genius. I am a gambling genius. I called it. Did you see, like, Mr. Successful Writer Bob Kravitz is like, 9? What are you talking about? I got the Colts winning 11. Wow, that was a long time ago. Okay, so now Scott's in a perfect spot.
And he's going third person, so you know he means business.
Yes, I do. It is so good to have that money already in my pocket, because if Jacksonville wins even the game, I'm covered. I'm getting both sides of this sucker now. I could have Jacksonville win. I cash that ticket because I put a lot of money on that. Not $12.50, Caesars. But I will also share with you, look at this, 6.5. That's too many points. Mike Vrabel is, I believe, one of the 2 or 3 best coaches in the NFL. Last week, he didn't play anybody. He just is like, we're getting ready for the next week. They have 10 days to get ready for this. They have had great success against Jacksonville, unlike the Colts. And I will just share right now, this game is going to be tight. Do I think Jacksonville will cover? No. Do I think they'll win? Probably, but 6.5. Take that money and enjoy it. Spend it. It's going to happen.
Say it with me. Divisional unders.
Oh.
Right? Another divisional game. This time the division is on the line. Now, the total is a little low for me to play ball in, but follow me here. If Vegas is right, this is too many points here. It is. 6.5 in a divisional game where everything is usually tight. These teams know each other. Things tend to go to the under. This is too many points. The Titans are going to ride with the former Tennessee Vol, Josh Dobbs, who didn't look that bad last week. Trevor Lawrence. Aside from Joe Burrow, has there been a better quarterback in the NFL over the last couple of weeks? Probably not. But this is different. And the gambling genius, as he described himself as, said it best. Mike Vrabel is perfect in this spot. I believe Vrabel, if you look at the numbers, 21-9, I believe, against the spread when he's a dog of 3 or more. Well, last time I checked, 6.5 is more than 3. I don't know if the Titans win, but I think this is close. I think they hang around. I think Derrick Henry runs the bejesus out of the football. Give me the points here. I'll take the Titans with 6.5. Now, when we come back, we will reset all of the plays that we've got. If you missed our picks on the national championship game, some prop bets for Georgia TCU, we'll reset all of that. Plus, producer Peter's got some action for you. Come on back. It's all Indiana Bets. Let's get rich, kids. Scott, what do you got?
Mr. What am I? 31-16, something like that. It's going to be 32-16 over 62.5. Brock Bowers, he will be the story in regards to the national championship. TCU does not have anybody to cover. They're going to go crazy like jackrabbits. The people from Brookings, South Dakota, 5.5. The Raiders +9. The Titans +6.5, and I've got some his place.
Oh, here we go.
This is one of my new favorites. Probably the best smell of the year. You do want to. I can't even speak. I'm going to eat.
So I'm going to fly through this because I want to eat too. I love Georgia in the game. -12.5. Georgia's going to win. They're going to win big. And because of that, Scott Long will not have a shirt on this program a week from tomorrow.
Bonus.
I like the under. The degenerate special is the game between IUPUI and Youngstown State. Don't act like you're not impressed. Just bet the over and check the score later and thank me. NFL action, I'm under because it's a divisional game. Kansas City and Las Vegas, and I'm with Scott on the Titans getting the points. Mike Vrabel, he lives for this kind of stuff. He is great in the underdog spot. All right, Peter, what are we looking at?
All right, first of all, you guys have to start looping me in on the shirtless ideas. You can't just throw that out there. I still have PTSD from seeing Scott shirtless the first time. Now we're potentially going to have to see it again next week. Although, Hammer, I thought you pulled it off well when it was your turn.
Thank you, Peter. I appreciate that.
The national championship game, here's one thing we know for sure. The weakest unit on the field will be the TCU defense. Situationally, they can be good at times. We saw it against Michigan. They stiffened up in the red zone a couple of times, which obviously was key to them winning that game. But they're going to give up yards. Guys are going to get their numbers. So for that reason, I like the Brock Bowers over. I'm with Scott. I think he has a big day. TCU's biggest issue defensively this year has been stopping the run. So for that reason, we'll go Kenny McIntosh, the Georgia running back, over 65.5 yards. I think if Georgia will commit to the run, I think he flies over that total. And then a college basketball pick, because for the love of God, we can't have our only college basketball pick on the show on a day where there's 150 college basketball games be IUPUI versus Youngstown State. So how about a game people actually care about? Kansas, West Virginia. We're taking the Mountaineers at home, plus 2.5. Coming off of back-to-back tough road losses. Back-to-back road games for Kansas are coming off an emotional win. We'll take the Mountaineers and Bob Huggins at home, plus the points. Scott, go eat some food, man. I'm tired of seeing you pull it out of your pocket. Go eat it in the kitchen.
Again, why am I always left here to eat last? I carry the heavy lifting on this show.
Look at this food here. Come on now.
His Place Eatery is in the house. We're going to have a little tailgate food next, right here on All Indiana Bets. I have been looking forward to this all day long. Like, it's hard to focus when food this good is in the building. His Place Eatery, James Jones, the owner of this awesome joint. How you doing, man?
Doing good, man. Can't complain. Thanks for inviting me out.
James, where are you at?
We are at 30th and Shadeland, right off of the corner of 30th and Shadeland, on the east side of Indianapolis.
How long have you been there? Because this food is like, it is beautiful.
Thank you, thank you. We've been there. It'll be 14 years coming up here in March.
That makes me excited. It's 14 years. Now, what do people most come in to your place, his place?
Well, we do soul food, comfort food, and barbecue. So we call it chef-inspired soul food.
I'm diving in. I'm diving in.
Yes, and then we like to take a lot of liberties with our menu and do things like our bourbon cream corn.
Yes.
So it's just not a regular cream corn. It has some bourbon in it.
Bourbon cream corn.
Exactly.
Hit me with a little bit of that. And that kind of fits our show.
Exactly.
I don't know if you know.
Exactly. I noticed the Evan Williams earlier, so the bourbon fits right in.
You'll notice more of it later. Let me ask you something, because if people don't realize, this guy should be working like at a fertility clinic, producing college and pro athletes.
Right,
Your
the
son
best of the best.
is part of a big weekend.
Yes, yes.
Who is
yes.
he and who is your son?
Our son is Caleb Jones. He
Look at
grew
that
up
proud
here in
dad
town.
right there.
That is so great.
That is a proud dad picture right there.
He is a undrafted free agent rookie for the Green Bay Packers. So we're very excited. It's a very exciting weekend, and
Played
go
at
Pack
IU.
Go. Played at IU. Yep.
Played in a big bowl game.
Yep.
And
played Lawrence North here in town.
That's awesome.
Yeah. Yep.
And your daughter, you were just saying during the commercial break, because Scott was talking about the big rivalry game between North Dakota State and South Dakota State. Your daughter has a little interest, right?
Yes, our daughter, she graduated from North Dakota State. She played basketball for North Dakota State. Go Bison.
All right. So let me ask this question. Let's say a guy like me, I'm 45 years old, I'm a pasty white guy, and I walk into his place and say, hit me with some soul food. Do I get laughed at?
No, you do not. No, you do not.
I'm laughing.
No, you don't. Listen, everyone loves great food. So we get customers from all around, from everywhere. It doesn't make a difference where you're from or what you look like. We're going to take care of you because everyone loves great food.
No, this barbecue is so good.
That is the best cream corn I have ever had. Where did that recipe bounce around? Family? What was going on?
Toyed around in his head somewhere, and I fixed it in culinary school when I was in culinary school here in town.
So is that a meatloaf?
That is a meatloaf. That is a smoked meatloaf.
Okay.
And it has pepper bacon over the top of it, and it's finished with barbecue sauce.
Anybody that knows, my wife, you're
It's
watching.
like falling off of the fork. That's how tender this
I
is.
hate meatloaf.
Yeah.
That is perfect. That is
Yeah.
not meatloaf. That is,
Yeah.
you got bacon, you got barbecue, you got smoke.
Yeah.
It's like eating some kind of brisket almost. It's so good.
Thank you.
I am loving this. And
All right.
a little banana.
Little banana pudding.
Now,
yes.
if somebody wants to get a meal before the big championship football game on Monday, you got about 30 seconds left. Can they pre-order?
Well, we are closed on Mondays.
Okay.
However,
Let's do a Sunday.
we're open on Sundays. So
All right,
yes.
so NFL Sunday, this is your food. One more time, where you at?
We're at 30th and Shadeland, and our website is hisplaceeatery.com. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram.
Thank you so much.
And good luck to the Packers and your
Go
son.
Pack, go! All right.
His place,
Perfect.
the best.
So
Enjoy the
good.
food, enjoy the games. We'll talk to you tomorrow.